First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the name of who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahawashi is the name of who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kwadash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. Also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I'm probably going to title this, Godzilla Is Biblical. Okay, and go into some scriptures talking about this beast that we see right here, because all these movies that Esau makes, right, with Godzilla, okay, and dragons and all these creatures, right, he actually gets it from the Bible. Okay, this right here is actually biblical. Okay, and I'm going to get the scriptures to prove that. Okay, and also dinosaurs are biblical too, right? Some people, they believe that dinosaurs are not real. Dinosaurs were real, okay? But yeah, I might hit that scripture today, right? Just go over a couple of those points, but pretty much bring out some edification on this right here, Godzilla, which in the scriptures is referred to as Leviathan, okay? A sea serpent, a sea dragon, right? That spits fire out of his mouth, right? And people have had accounts of animals like this, right? You have the account of the Loch Ness sea monster, right? You had all over the place, right? People having stories of seeing things in the oceans, right? And the thing is that these animals are true, right? Just how the dinosaurs, right? There are still dinosaurs here on Earth today, okay? We just don't know where they are, okay? And that might sound far-fetched, but we do know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, right? He doesn't get rid of his creatures, okay? They're still on here today on this earth. Who knows where, right? That's something that we don't know right now, right? But dinosaurs were real. And this creature right here, Leviathan, also. Let's get those scriptures, right? I went into the word Leviathan, and it goes into sea monster, dragon, large aquatic animal, perhaps the extinct dinosaur, Plesiosaurus, exact meaning unknown, right? It's not talking about the dinosaur, which it is pretty much a dinosaur. I think the word dinosaur goes into, let's search it up, etymology online, see what the word dinosaurs goes into. Dinosaur goes into a terrible lizard, right? Because that's what pretty much they are. They're lizards, right? But they're just different variations, okay? But as it says in this box, it says, some think this to be a crocodile, but from the description in Job 41:1-34, this is patently absurd. It appears to be a large fire-breathing animal of some sort, just as the bombardier beetle has an explosion-producing mechanism. So the great sea dragon may have an explosive-producing mechanism to enable it to be a real fire-breathing dragon. Okay, and I'm going to get that scripture, right? Job chapter 41 and verse 1 goes into it. It says, Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with the cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? All right, going into how can you control this monster? Right? Can you bind him? Can you kill him? Right, and the answer to that is no. It says, wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Right? Are you going to be able to gather him up, right? Chop him up and make a Leviathan sushi, right? Sell him, put him in an aquarium as Esau would do? No, you can't. Okay, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi has made it where, hey, no one can take down this creature, right? It's indomitable, right? You can't take it down, undefeated. It says, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? Right, so just imagine that, right? Saying that just at the sight of him, right, people shit themselves. It says, none is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his faith? His teeth are terrible round about. Okay, just imagine that, man. A big ass lizard, Godzilla, coming out of the sea, man, miles long, right? Just imagine that. It says his scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. Man, imagine that. That's like titanium, diamond armor. Right? You can't penetrate this beast. Okay? Not even air can get between the scales. So just imagine, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai made us. Right? So just imagine what kind of creature he can create if he wants that creature to be undefeated. Right? To be a fearful sight. Okay? Something that no mankind can come against. Okay? It says, they are joined one to another, they stick together, and they cannot be sundered. By his sneezings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. Right, and that's what I was going into. Right, going into how, okay, that's talking about pretty much this creature right here. Right, Godzilla being able to shoot fire out of his mouth. Right, sparks, a tempest. Right, just like we see in this picture right here. Right, that's the creature is describing. Right, and it's biblical. Right, it's in the Bible, man. Okay, shooting fire out of his mouth. It says, in his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. Right, and it just keeps going, man. Right, keeps going. I might as well finish it. It says, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the harbigan. Right, you can't come against with arrows, right, missiles. It's not going to work. It says that he esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. So we know that iron is one of the hardest substances right here on earth. Right, to him, that's like straw, man. It's nothing. Right, he can bend that. It says, where are we at? The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh the path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. Right, one thing about these creatures, right, is that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right, he made a male and a female, right, of every creature, so they can procreate. Right, so there's more than one Leviathan out there. There's more than one Godzilla, right, one sea dragon out there. Okay, and just, you have to understand also that the entire earth hasn't been discovered. Right, I think it's like 90% of the, or only 10% of the ocean has been discovered, and then 90% is undiscovered. So just imagine the creatures that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has created, man. Okay, and that leads me to scripture in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11. Right, it talks about how, hey, there's creatures that we don't even know about. Right, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11 and verse 17, it says, for the almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to set among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown, right, unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scent of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. Right, so just imagine that. Right, he's telling you that, and he's creating creatures all the time. Right, creatures that shoot laser beams out of their eyes. Right, that shoot fire out of their mouths. Right, vapor. Okay, just imagine that. Okay, so, hey, Godzilla is biblical. Right, Godzilla is biblical. And let's get a little bit more scriptures on Leviathan. Leviathan. Let's go. And Leviathan also in the scriptures sometimes refers to Esau. Right, you just have to distinguish. Let's see. Psalms chapter 104 and verse 25, it says, "So is this great and wide sea, wherein are there things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season." Right? So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai has this creature out there, right? If he wants to lay down judgment on a pair of people going down across the waters, man. Right? If he wants to terrorize some people, and he calls Leviathan, right, to go fuck with them. Right, it just shows you the power of the Lord that we're dealing with. Okay, high level. Let's get that in a couple more. Gonna be a quick lesson, but hey, videos like this are, hey, they're edifying, man. This is like the fun part of the scriptures, right? Just reading about things where pretty much Esau, right, has lied to us, right? He told us dinosaurs are extinct. This was millions of years ago, when in actuality, it wasn't even that long ago. I think the earth is only like 14,000 years old. Let's get this one. This is Psalms chapter 74 and verse 13. It says, "Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness." Okay. And let's get one more. Leviathan. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Verse 49, it says, "Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one that thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan, and didst separate the one from the other for the 7th part, namely, where the water was gathered together might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part, wherein are 1,000 hills." And I think that's going into the land. And it says, "But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt. And when upon the 6th day thou gavest a commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things." All right, so right there it tells you that Leviathan, right, he's out there in the ocean right now, right, just doing his thing, man, cruising, right, eating sharks and shit, right? Who knows, right? That just shows you that the power we're dealing with, right, is something out of our minds, right? If you want to look at the power we're dealing with, look at yourself. Look at the complex organisms that the Allahayim, right, the angels, along with Yahweh Shai made, right? Having Yahweh as the architect, right? If you want to look at his power, look up into the heavens. Look at all the stars, right? The millions, infinite universes that we are in, right? That's something that we cannot wrap our heads around. And that's ultimately why we give grace, right? Thanks, glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because we can't do nothing without him, right? And let me get that dinosaur scripture. I think that's Job chapter 40. Job. Let's get it in the blue letter. Not Job. Let me see. Cedar. It says that he shaketh his. Let's find it. It is in Job, yeah. Job chapter 40. And verse 15, it says, "Behold now behemoth, which I have made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox." Right, let's look into that word behemoth. Bahamat. Perhaps an extinct dinosaur. Right, it's not extinct though. Right, it's somewhere on the earth. Okay, we just don't know where. Let's see, a Diplodocus or Brachiosaurus. Let's see. I know kind of what it looks like, but let's see the technical terms that Esau names him. Right, it's this thing pretty much right here. Okay, this dinosaur, this is what it's talking about, with the long tail that eats herbs. This is what it's talking about. It says, "Behold now behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo, now his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together." Right, so it tells you that his tail, right, he's moving it like a cedar, right, a cedar tree. Okay, if we look into, let's get a picture of a cedar tree. Right, it's a tall looking tree, right, with, let's get it right here, images. Right, cedar tree. So it tells you that his tail was very long, right? Very vast. Okay, spread out like this. Pretty much a tall tree. So comparing his tail to a tall tree. So just imagine that's where he has the power, man, just swinging that thing. It says he moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willows of the brook compass him about. Right, like they have in the movie Jurassic Park. Right, when they have this animal pretty much laying under the trees and shit. That's what it compares him to. Right, Jurassic Park, man, that's straight out of the scriptures. Okay, it says, behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. So just imagine what kind of creature you need, right, to drink up a whole river. How big that creature needs to be. Okay, so it tells you clearly that this is not no hippopotamus, right? Because in the blue letter, right, it tells you that it's a hippopotamus, right? Which that's not the case, right? This is a dinosaur, so-called dinosaur, which goes to terrible lizard, just another animal. But as it says, he drinketh up a river. He taketh it with his eyes, his nose pierceth through snares. And that's all talking about this animal right here. Okay? This animal right here. All right? But that was the lesson for today. Just a quick lesson. Something interesting. Right? Godzilla is real. And dinosaurs are real. Right? We just don't have the information of where they went. Okay? But we do know that. Let me see if I can find that scripture. It goes into how Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai doesn't get rid of any creatures. Yeah, I can't find it off the top. But hopefully this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.